So why does Angular not pick up the change? It's important to realize that arrays like objects in JavaScript are reference types, and the implications this has can be found in an article and video you find attached to this lecture here. Essentially, it means that changes to an array or an object are not that easy to pick up for Angular, because we don't change the value itself, but only some value somewhere stored in memory, in very simple words. Again, check this attached resource for more details. Now, this means that Angular doesn't pick up when we change this. Now, in our persons component, we are initializing our person list with a pointer at persons, but again, when we change persons, this is not picked up automatically. Now, we can set up a mechanism where we push changes to places interested in the update. So push changes to components, for example. And to do that, I will actually turn persons here into a private property so that I can only use it inside of the service. And I will add a new property here, which I'll name persons changed. And the name is up to you. However, this will now be equal to a default value, which I also need to import, but now not from Angular, but a core library that is used heavily by Angular. And that is the RxJS library. RxJS is all about observables. And if you want to learn more about observables, you find helpful resources attached to this lecture. There, we can import a so-called subject. And we initialize persons changed to be equal to a new subject. Now, a subject is very similar to the event emitter we used earlier. And actually, Angular's event emitter kind of builds up on this. This is also a generic type, and we can use it to manage and emit data. Now, here, my subject will be a string array, or will hold a string array data. And that's important. It will also manage the data. It will hold my full list of persons, so to say. Now, with this subject set up here, what I do is I go to, for example, add persons. And whenever I add a person, I'll use the persons changed subject and call next here to pass my updated persons. I'll do exactly the same and copy that when I remove the person. So now I'm basically emitting events through this persons changed subject, and you can define as many subjects as you want, which contain my updated list of persons. We can now subscribe to this event emitter, so to say, in other places of our app. And I'll do this in my persons component. There, when I initialize this, I still want to get access to persons. And therefore, actually, I will turn this back to a public, which is the default type of property, because I need to get this one-time access here. But I will also set up a listener to my PRS service, persons changed subject, by calling subscribe. So we have next when we want to send a new value, and we use subscribe when we want to listen to new values. And there I will get the data which was emitted, which we know will be a list of persons. And then here, this arrow function will execute whenever a new value is emitted. So here we get the persons then, and I can then set this person list equal to persons. What this ensures is that now, when I click on manual, we see a live update because we now have this active push mechanism where we push the update to interested parts in the application. Now, one important note, when using your own subjects, you need to unsubscribe when the component gets destroyed to prevent memory leaks, where you have more and more unused subscriptions piling up. And for that, I'll use another lifecycle hook, the onDestroy hook, where I implement onDestroy, which is imported from @Angular core. And then we add ng onDestroy down there. And in there, I want to clear my subscription. For that, I first of all need to store it in a property of this class. So I'll add my private property person list subs. You can name it however you want. And this will be of type subscription, which is a type you have to import from RxJS. This is actually what subscribe will return. So we can store it here and set this person list sub equal to the result of subscribe here. Now the subscription is stored, and in ng on destroy, I can now call this person list sub unsubscribe, and now this prevents memory leaks. This is something you should do when working with subjects and your own event emitters, therefore. It's not required for the Angular event emitter we used earlier, though. There, Angular will do all the cleanup.